Hello, and welcome back to part number 6 of this music breakdown series that I've been doing here lately, where I'm just going through, I'm listening to every single song, I'm breaking down the lyrics, kind of what the story was behind it all, and how it all went down. So, without further ado, let's jump straight on into it. Roll that intro. Now, before I get too deep into this, as always, you know how this goes. I got to give a little bit of a shout out album wise to a very influential album. And this song is called Losin Myself In NOLA. It's about having fun, just kind of going about my life, navigating the partying days and whatnot. So, what group is more fun than Brockhampton? This album is Roadrunner. You should go check it out. It's one of the most underrated, in my opinion. It's got some deep cuts on there, but it's also got a lot of fun, like Don't Shoot Up the Party and whatnot. So you should go check out the album. It's really good. Love Brockhampton. Love everything they did for the rap game and all that. So best boy band ever. I'll die on that hill. So yeah, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and jump on into Losin Myself In NOLA now. As I said, it's more of a party song, more of just lighthearted kind of vibe, having fun with it. So let's go ahead and get that thing rolling. Maybe.
I'd be lying if I said she doesn't still rest on my mind. And I know that I'd feel guilty wasting anyone else's time. Thought I'd healed from the damage that lay deep inside, till I spent some time in NOLA with these demons on my mind, trying to escape from all the pressure of a heartache nobody can measure. I need a mental break, I ain't gonna sweat you. Said fuck it, I'ma go pursue some pleasure until I can think of something better.
I went drinking, I went clubbing, doing my best to think of nothing. These girls stripping while I'm talking, and oh my God, I'm hoping that the day I have to go home never comes. I'm losing myself in NOLA and living life while I'm young.
All right, so jumping straight into this real quick. Let me adjust my mic real quick. Damn, why are you so far away? So it starts off with I'd be lying if I said she doesn't still rest on my mind, and I know that I feel guilty wasting anyone else's time. So, in the last song I kind of talked about how the whole point of it was me moving on and me letting all this go. Well, I kind of hit this stage where it was like, I did still think about it a lot, thought about her a lot. I had a lot of things that reminded me, anytime anytime I'd hop off the interstate and I'd see Culver's, I'd think of her because that's where she worked at. And that was very frequently because, well, if you know where I live, you would be able to tell because it's pretty much just off the interstate. Like you hop off, and with me driving downtown as much as I did, like you hop off and it's just right there. Like as soon as on that route that I would take home, that main road back home, that's pretty much where it would be. And there was a period in time where I had saw her at the gas station in my hometown, and anytime I drive past that gas station, also on the same road, on the same way back home, it'd just be a trigger and a reminder. And it's like, she still was kind of on my mind a lot. And I feel guilty wasting anyone else's time. Like, as a dude, you don't really want to open up to too many people. And a lot of people, not even just dudes, whenever they fall into this trap of mental health and this trap of, like, going through a lot of stuff, a lot of people just don't want to actually put in the work. And they're afraid of putting in the work of opening up and putting in that putting yourself out there, I guess, being vulnerable. It's a very difficult thing to do. So I thought that I'd healed from all of this, and I remember thinking about her a lot while I was on my trip in NOLA, New Orleans, NOLA, by the way, if you didn't know. I've had a lot of people not quite get that with the song, but yeah, New Orleans is where I was at. I went to downtown New Orleans. We went on like Frenchman Street, Bourbon Street, obviously, on all the bars and whatnot there. Went to my first strip club, went to a bunch of bars, a bunch of fun stuff. We had a good time. But, I was still talking to Kimmy from the last song that I mentioned. But I kind of was still hung up on Ivy a little bit. So I spent some time NOLA with these demons on my mind, trying to escape from all the pressure of a heart and a body can measure. I need a mental break. I'm going to sweat you. Basically, what I'm saying here is just like, I'm going to go say fuck this shit and have fun and deal with this the way that I've been dealing with it all along. The song is like supposed to be fun, But it's also supposed to be a little bit deeper in the aspects of like it is just a party song, but it's supposed to kind of be. I didn't really intend it this way, but it kind of ended up this way. Like "Hey Ya" by Outkast, where it's super super like generic party song. But if you look at the deeper meaning of what he's saying, he's like basically, like, nah, y'all don't want to hear me. You just want to hear me dance. Or you just want to dance. Hear me dance is crazy. But this is more of the same thing where it's like I'm talking about some deeper stuff where it's like, I'm trying to escape from all this. I'm trying to run from all this. I'm just trying to go get fucked up and forget about all this shit. And at that time, my friend group that I was a part of, that's a lot of what we did. It was, let's just go get fucked up, see how fucked up we can get and call it good. And I remember like I was kind of outgrowing that at this point as well. But at this point, that's just kind of what I was down for. I was like, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. Let's go and pursue some pleasure, go have some fun, go get fucked up, go drink, go smoke, go just ape shit. It's vacation. Fuck them. Like, I've been going through a lot of shit. I just need a break. So that's pretty much what I'm talking about. And then the chorus is just me talking about everything that I did. Like, I went drinking, I went clubbing, doing my best, thinking nothing. I went to a strip club twice. It's the first and second and only 2 times that I've ever been to a strip club in my life because I don't really see the value and point in it personally. I was high as shit while I was in the entire time, man. Like the entire time we were fucked up. So, I hope that the day I go home never comes because, like, it's one of those times where it's like, it's one of those places where you just go and you kind of lose yourself for a little while in the city and you just get fucked up. You have a good time and that's it. Like, it is a good time if that's what you're looking for, but unfortunately with those good times, like, they wear out at some point. But at that point it was just like, damn, like I thought originally we were going there for like 5 days and we only went there for like 2 or 3. And I was kind of bummed about it because I was really excited to go on tour and just party because I mean shit, I was freshly 21 going to New Orleans too. Like this was 2 weeks after my 21st birthday. Shit, I was trying to throw down, you know what I mean? So anyway, I'm gonna continue on with the song.
Went on a tour around the city, no real plans. Trying to see where it takes me, sipping on absinthe. Tour guy's kinda shitty, he's saying I'm not 21. When I'm trying to tell him I really am the one on my driver's license. The whole group's pissed, he could alert through the night. So we dip at his tour, I didn't really mind. But I guess the rest of them wanted more, I'm just here for the ride. So let's get trash and have some fun tonight.
I went drinking, I went clubbing, doing my best to think of nothing. These girls stripping while I'm talking. And oh my God, I'm hoping that the day I have to go home never comes. I'm losing myself in NOLA and living life while I'm young.
First of all, in the chorus, whenever I say home and I hit that like home or whatever the fuck it was that I did, sorry, it's a little rough. But whenever I hit that just sounds so good. I don't know what it is, but I was so proud of that whenever I made that. Like I was like, yeah, good shit, Sean. Wait, show that you can actually sing a little bit because pretty much all the singing on this album's out of key, but who gives a shit? I still like it. I think it sounds pretty decent. It doesn't sound too bad. But let's see. Let's go ahead and jump back into this because there's a story here with this one. Went on a tour around the city, no real plans, trying to see where it takes me, sipping on absinthe. Tour guys trying to shitty. So basically, this whole story right here. The dude's telling me I'm not 21. I'm trying to tell him I'm really the one on my driver's license. Whole group's pissed, eager to lurk through the night, so we dip out his tour. I guess basically this whole verse is literally about one incident that happened, and I think it was the first day we were there. We had planned. So, by the way, we had gone into that entire vacation as in like, fuck it. We're just gonna figure out when we go. And it was funny because like originally we were gonna try to plan. Like I remember my buddies. So it was me, Riley, my buddy Nate, who is Adjit. I mentioned him on the Lovesick breakdown. And then it was my buddy Riley's sister Cassie, Dustin, and then Cassie's friend Chloe, who used to work at GameStop. I've known Chloe for years. I knew her back when I was like 15 years old, working at GameStop. And then there was I forget what his name was. I just know that he played a lot of Jimmy Eat World. So I don't remember what this dude's name was. He was pretty chill. He just a little bit older. He was one of Dustin's friends. So anyway, we're all there. It's what is that? 7 of us, and it's us and then these two. There's a gay couple from Baltimore that's there, and all of us are on this tour with this tour guide, and we're going through the tour. They're telling us all the stories about the historic shit in New Orleans. They're talking about they're talking about like ghost stories, shit like that, because it's a very voodoo town. They get around to talking about absinthe, and it's just one guy who's running the tour. Pretty sure he was late to the tour too, which is kind of crazy. But he gets around talking about absinthe, and if you don't know, absinthe is used as like a form of medicine, or at least it used to be, for like headaches and stuff like that. It's one of the few stimulant alcohols, I'm pretty sure, and it tastes like licorice. It does not taste good at all, and it's just very strong. And so we're gonna go absinthe tasting at this bar, and I pull out my ID because, like I said, I'm freshly 21. I still haven't got my 21-year-old ID, so my ID still says it was when I first got my license, so I was 17. So it was a picture of me before I had shed a shit ton of weight, because I was about like 220, 240 pounds. And it's a picture of me with no beard, no nothing, fat face, and it says under 18 until, and then under 21 until on the side of my picture. And I'm like, oh, fuck, he's not going to believe that this is me, because it doesn't even look like me anymore. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, hey man, I know this doesn't look like me, but this is me. And here's brought out, I think it was my school ID and my carry permit. At least my carry permit. I don't know about school ID. No, it was definitely just my carry permit. So I get up my carry permit and I hold it up next to him. I'm like, look, this is me. It's just the picture doesn't really look like me. And he was like, I don't know, man. And then he took it to the bartender, and the bartender was like, he looks at it and he looks at me and he looks at it and he looks at me and he goes, he's good, dude. Like, he's fine. And I'm like, thank you. Granted, probably could have just not said anything and it probably would have been fine, but still, he questioned me about it. And we taste the absinthe. It tasted like shit. And we keep going on with the tour. And we go on the street where they're crossing the road. And the tour guide and then the two people from Baltimore, they continue on the tour. And Dustin just looks at us. He's like, hey, guys. And we're like, all right, whatever. And we go. And Dustin's just like, basically, fuck that dude. Fuck this tour. Fuck him checking Sean's ID. We're dipping out. So we literally just left this dude's tour. Yeah, that was, I felt kind of bad in hindsight. He ended up refunding us the money too, which I felt even worse for, because I could tell he felt bad. But in all honesty, I didn't think he was doing that bad. The questioning about the ID, I get, but he, dude, he gave us all our money back. Like, bro, what? He didn't have to do that, but whatever, man. But the rest of the group was kind of shitty about it. Like I said in this, I didn't really care. They were all wanting to go party and get fucked up, and that's what they thought this tour was going to be, I guess. I don't really know. So we just said fuck it, and we left, and we went on the tour and did the tour and went on our own tour around the city and just kind of learned our own stuff. So, that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump to the next verse.
Drunk as hell, riding mechanical bulls, watching these hoes slide down stripper poles, live jazz filling my soul, and getting off of some fucking coke in a pizzeria. Right here's where I need to be at. While the ship deep down tries to see me deep, voodoo premonitions try telling me what lies ahead. My buddy's sister friend, she wants to give me head, but I'm too preoccupied with what it is that lies ahead.
I went drinking, I went clubbing, doing my best to think of nothing. These girls stripping while I'm talking. And oh my God, I'm hoping that the day I have to go home never comes. I'm losing myself in NOLA and living life while I'm young.
Bro. Oh, shit. Alright, so watching these hoes slide down stripper poles, live jazz filling my soul, and getting off some fucking coke at a pizzeria. So, New Orleans is fucking wild. We didn't even go during like Mardi Gras or anything. This was in the middle of June. And so, like I said, we went to a strip club. I wasn't really about that, because at that point I was talking to a girl. I was talking to Kimmy. I was kind of trying to stay a little loyal to that, because, you know, that was me at that time. And my buddy Nate was doing the same thing, because he was talking to somebody and he was trying to stay loyal to that. So we were both kind of like, you know, I participated a little bit, but then I just kind of backed off. I was like, man, like, I don't, I don't know. I just don't want to waste my money here. It doesn't really seem worth it to me. And Nate was kind of the same mindset. Um, and then live jazz filling my soul. There's a lot of jazz music getting played down there because I think New Orleans is one of the jazz capitals of the world. Um, so there's a lot of live jazz going around where people were just in the streets playing jazz music and shit. Actually, originally when I was gonna make this song, I couldn't get it to work, which is why I didn't. But I had some horns in the chorus just because I thought that it kind of showed a little bit more of the city, kind of gave that vibe a little bit better. Man, we saw some wild shit. Like, I'll have to just flash up some pictures about what I'm talking about here before too long, because man, it was so cool. Like, just seeing the chaos of the city. Like, there was one place we went to where the bathroom was just written on, and the bathroom had like the entire wall was just completely covered in writing, and one of the things that was written on there was Toy Story 2 was okay. I don't know why. Um, there's another. We were playing Pokemon Go back then, and there was a Pokestop that was there that was just like two dudes in bunny suits laying down next to each other, like the most random shit ever. There was a dude who was Sneaky Pete, the goat. Free my man Sneaky Pete. But he was just laying in the middle of Bourbon Street, chilling, minding his own business, with a bottle right next to him. Like, just no fucks given. I aim to not give any fucks like that at some point in my life, man. And they getting offered some Coke. So when we were in New Orleans, we were looking for some bud. And we ended up going to this pizzeria because I had to piss so bad. And everywhere in New Orleans was like, oh, well, if you're going to come in, you got to buy a drink. And I'm like, bro, I'm hammered right now. I just need to piss. That's what I need right now is to fucking piss. And we found this open pizzeria where it was just like there was an L of the pizzeria, and then there was just a complete opening. You could just walk in and out freely, grab your pizza, and then there was like a pillar holding everything up as well. I go in there and there's a bathroom in the back. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. I walk back in the bathroom and I'm taking a piss. And I look over, like as I'm taking a piss, you know, you got your head down. And I look over and I see in my left, there's 3 sets of shoes in the stall. And I'm sitting there like, bro, what the fuck is happening in this pizzeria stall right now? And I just hear, there's 2 girls and a dude. And I hear the girls go, oh, wow, you weren't joking. And I'm sitting there like, oh, this sounds like something I don't need to be a part of right now. So I finish pissing, zip it up, go wash my hands. And I walk over to my buddies and I'm like, hey, you're not going to believe what the fuck I just saw. And this dude comes up to me as I'm telling them the story. He pats me on my back and he just goes, that was me, man. And he goes, you fuck with your nose? And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, I don't know if I don't know what it is, man. Every time I go to a big city like that, I feel like somebody offers me cocaine. I don't know if it's just because I'm white or what the deal is, but for some reason, people think that I am just a fucking coke fiend, and I'm not. And he said that, and I was like, no. I was like, but if you got some bud, and we ended up buying some shit off of him, but dude, that shit was crazy. I got other stories about it, but it's. We left, like, we went to a couple other bars. We were getting some, like, we went to this one bar where it had, like, this punching bag, right? And you can, like, punch and see how hard you can punch. And I had the record until my buddy Riley beat me at the very end, that rat bastard. He hit over 8, I think he hit, like, 802 or something like that on it. I was at, like, 798, couldn't get past 800. But I went and rolled a bull, and I've got a whole video about this, about me riding this bull, dude, because I was on that thing like fucking white on rice, damn it. I was sitting there cooking and riding that bull. I didn't realize I had that in me, but I had that dog in me, El Toro. But we were doing that, and I rode that bull, and then we went upstairs shortly after, and it was starting to get dark out. And while it's starting to get dark out, we go upstairs on the balcony, and so in New Orleans they have like the beads, right? They're notorious for that. We had just collected a shit ton of beads over like the 2 or 3 nights we were there. And on the last night we were there, actually, I'll put a pin in that. We'll come back to that story here in a second, because I think that's in one of the later verses. What else happened? Let's see. Oh fucking hell. Okay. Voodoo premonitions try telling me what lies ahead. So this is actually the start of the next girl in the installment of this story of Lovesick, and this is Claire. Claire is, well, so she was really good friends with my buddy Alice, or my buddy Tristan's ex Allison. They met working together, and Allison brought her over, and we all hung out and whatnot. But this was before I had met Claire, and I was playing Heart Gold version, I believe, Pokemon, and I was playing it, and I was around the 8th gym badge, and I was sitting there. I was sitting there, and for whatever reason, Claire's name just kept popping in my head. It was Claire, 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 Claire. Not like that, but you get what I mean. Just like periodically, it was just like ring in my head, like Claire. Bam. I don't know why it was just resonating so deeply with me, but it was. Fucking shit you not, dude. Like, I get back from New Orleans, and then like my buddies hit me up and like, hey, you want to come over? Allison's got a hot friend, and I'm like, sure, fuck it, why not? What else am I doing tonight? I get up and I go over there, and the person I meet, her name is fucking Claire. I shit you not. And that's why I say, like, the voodoo premonitions tell me what lies ahead. Like, dude, I was in this like voodoo town, this voodoo city. Everything was so like, I've got like shot glasses and shit that talk about it. It's like, it's a very spirit. That's a lot of why they wanted to go was, you know, Cassie and Riley and all them. They really believe heavily in that spirituality, that like voodoo type stuff, and in a way I kind of do too. And especially at that time I did. It was weird to get a premonition like that because it literally was like, it felt like something was telling me that I was going to go meet Claire, and it was just the weirdest shit in the world. I'm too preoccupied with what lies ahead. Oh wait, no, my bad. I jumped up a little bit. My buddy's sister friend, she wants to give me head, so this is what I was laughing about earlier. So Chloe, I have known Chloe since I was 15. Chloe used to work at GameStop. I crushed on her fucking hard back when she was working at GameStop. I don't know why, to be honest with you. I really don't. I just did. And I heard Cassie was bringing a friend. I'm like, oh, okay, bet. How awesome. It's her. And I'm like, there's no fucking way. And then we talked about it a little bit, and that's who it was. And she was like, yeah, you used to come in with GameStop with your brother all the time, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, that's my little bro. Like, yeah, what can I say? And I don't know. She just, the entire time, because we were all drunk and whatnot, she was just grabbing on me, fucking holding on to me any way that she could. Like, kept giving me a lot of attention, shit like that. There was one day, actually, when we got back, one of the next times I saw her and all them, Dustin looks at us and is like, there's some sexual tension between you two. I'm like, whoa, that's insane. He wasn't wrong, but I was like, that's insane. But yeah, that's it. She didn't directly say that. It was just kind of like I picked up on something a little bit. I was like, she probably does. Like, there's something there. I can kind of tell. I just wasn't really trying to entertain that because, you know, it just wasn't what I was looking for at that point in time. Plus, I was already talking to Kimmy too, so it was kind of talking to Kimmy, hung up on Ivy. It just wasn't not the move at that point. So we're gonna go ahead and continue.
Last night there on the balcony of Bourbon Street, throwing bees at girls while they be flashing me. Babysitting my best friend, voice in my head harassing me, saying this ain't the end, but I'm about to breathe in this weed on the balcony, knowing that time is coming when I'm about to leave. But I ain't stressing that now, no, I am not ready to come back to reality. So until then,
I went drinking, I went clubbing, doing my best to think of nothing. These girls stripping while I'm talking, and oh my God, I'm hoping that the day I have to go home never comes. I'm losing myself in NOLA and living life while I'm young.
Fuck. All right, hang on. Let me jump all the way back in here. I accidentally skipped to the next song. All right, so I don't know how I managed to go perfectly where I needed to be. Hell yeah. So this next verse, it goes, last night there on the balcony of Bourbon Street, throwing beads of girls will be flashing me, babysitting my best friend, voice in my head harassing me, saying this ain't the end, but I'm about to breathe in this weed on the balcony. So this is what I was going to talk about earlier when I was like, I'll get to that later in a later verse. So last night on Bourbon Street, I'm fucking hammered, like piss drunk. So is my buddies. And, you know, in New Orleans, they've got the beads and whatnot. And I don't know where I heard this from. I heard it from somebody. Hell, it may have been someone in my group. I don't even really remember. Um, but somebody is like, yeah, so basically you're supposed to trade flashing women, flashing you for beads. So me, I was like, all right, I'm in. I'm sold. I, I really don't know why. Because like I'm really like, this is the only night in New Orleans that I've ever been like that. And I'm sitting there and I'm up there just drunk out of my mind, and I'm like, earn your beads, earn them. And I'm like, I screamed so loud, I lost my voice. And dude, I couldn't even tell you how many women actually flashed me. It was insane. There was at one point where a bouncer was getting involved with this. Like there was a big ass fucking bouncer that was hanging out there, and he would walk up to people in Bourbon Street. He'd tap them on their shoulder, use his flashlight, and shine it up to me, and my buddy's sitting there yelling, "Earn your beads!" And dude, it. Like I said, New Orleans is crazy. One of the craziest places I've ever been in my entire life, because it's just sheer chaos. Like no one gives a single fuck. I mean, there are people out there renting snakes out to people, sitting there and being like, "Hey, you give me $10, we'll give you, we'll let you hold our snake and take a picture with it." And it's like a massive fucking boa. Um, we had there's like artists out there that are going out there and selling their art. I met this one dude, After 30, AFTA 30. Hell of an artist. I love the work that he does. He would go, and I bought a lot of art off of him. I paid like fucking $100+ in art on this dude. And it was just like, you know, Pokemon characters, or I bought my buddy Tristan a Mr. Meeseeks keychain or something, like, or a picture or something like that. You know, there was a bunch of really cool shit that I got for him, and I thought all of that stuff was really neat. So, but I'll show his stuff on there. I'll just write it down, put it in the bio or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. But yeah, After 30, fucking great artist. Go buy some shit from him. This isn't sponsored or anything. I just really liked his artwork, so might as well shout it out, right? So the next part of this is babysitting my best friend, voice in my head, harassing me. So, dude, I don't know what the fuck I was doing back then. So, as I said, I was kind of in this weird spot where like I was kind of coming out of that. I was realizing that I was using partying as a coping mechanism to deal with my problems. And that kind of drove a bit of a stake between me and my friends. Because some of my friends, I mean, even to this day it still does, because I don't really do that anymore. As a matter of fact, I couldn't tell you the last time I did it. But we were like at bars and whatnot. And I remember like I gave my buddy a bag full of shit, and it was like a lot. Like it was like my wallet. I had my gun in there, which by the way should not have. Don't, if you ever listening to this, do not bring a fucking gun to a bar. What the fuck is wrong with you? And how I got one into a bar, even more baffling. Like I got into a strip club. What the fuck? Obviously I wasn't gonna use it. We were going somewhere that I didn't know, and I wanted to fucking have it with me in case something happened for safety reasons. And I brought it with me. It probably shouldn't have, but it is what it is. Didn't use it, wasn't intending on using it, just yeah. So anyway, we're like, I gave him a bag and it had like all the shit I had bought, like the artwork, the fucking souvenirs and stuff that I had bought, like t-shirts. It had my fucking gun, it had my wallet, like just a bunch of shit that was really valuable in there. And I was really shitty because like I was the one that was babysitting him, and like I asked him to do that, and he fucking left it in the strip club, and we had to go back for it. And like I was just fucking pissed. Like I was genuinely upset about that. I don't know that I ever really told him that, but truth be told, I was fucking pissed because I got tired of babysitting. Like I had kind of taken on that role. Every friend I feel like ends up on both sides of it at some point, where it's like you're the one that everyone has to babysit when you first start partying, and then you start babysitting everybody else later on down the road. That's pretty much how it was for me. It was like I was the one that got way too far gone initially, and then I controlled it, learned how to control it, and then it just seemed like anywhere I went, I was always the one babysitting. And I was just fucking fed up with it. So I was kind of shitty about it my last day there. Voice in my head harassed me saying this ain't the end, talking like, basically what I'm trying to say is draw this parallel here of like, I'm so shitty, but it's because I'm not happy, and why I'm not happy is this voice that I've been trying to run from that's basically like, this ain't the end of all of this. Like, you're still struggling with this Ivy situation. You're still struggling with all of this. So it's not going anywhere. You just partied and fucked yourself up. That's all that you did. It's still here. Hey, buddy, welcome back to reality. You're about to get hit again with reality. And, saying this ain't the end, but I'm about to breathe. Maybe. Hang on.
In this weed on the balcony, knowing that time.
Let me just fucking jump all the way at the end of this. There we go. So free scroll. Sorry about that. Technical difficulties. So voice in my head harassed me saying this at the end, and this is kind of me going back into it and talking about that cycle again, where it's like, all right, but I'm about to breathe in this weed on the balcony. The times are coming when I'm about to leave, but I ain't stressing that now, and I'm not ready to come back to reality. So until then, basically just being like, yeah, I don't really care right now. It's just, I'm here to get fucked up, have fun, and have a good time. That's it. And that's pretty much what the song's about. So there's not really too much depth that goes into this one, but this is definitely more intended to be just like a fun little party song. Every album's got to have one, like you got to have one. So that is Losing Myself in NOLA. I don't really have anything else about it. I mean, I just played Switch, played Pokemon on the way back home. It was a 13-hour drive, by the way. On the way there, I got my Subway order figured out. I've been ordering that same thing ever since. I went in there. Shout out to you. If you somehow, by some stretch of the internet, end up coming across this, shout out to you, my guy. Because you put me on. You put me on some good shit. I used to get like I used to get like the cold cut combo at Subway, and then for whatever reason I got really insecure about getting a cold cut combo because someone told me that it was just bologna or something like that, and I was like, now I feel weird. And then I started branching out, and I used to get the meatball marinara. And then, so I went in there, and I was like, hey, man, can I get the meatball marinara? And he was like, oh, we're out of meatballs. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, all right, can I get a cold cut? Well, we're out of cold cut. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, all right, fine. Damn, can I get the Black Forest ham? And he's like, yeah. And he start loading up. I start putting veggies on it, experimenting. Because like I said, I was in my experimental era at this point. I was trying to figure out what I liked, what I didn't like. I was willing to try a few more foods and whatnot. A little bit more open-minded. And he we get to the end of it, and he's like, you want any sauce? I'm like, nah, man, I think I'm good. And he's like, are you sure you don't want any sauce? I was like, okay, what would you recommend? And he was like, Southwest Chipotle is pretty good, man. And I'm like, all right, bet. So I think I got like, what was it? I think that I got the Southwest Chipotle, the banana peppers, green peppers, pepper jack cheese, pepperonis, Black Forest ham, and something else. Maybe lettuce or tomato, one of the two. And then like I said, the Southwest Chipotle. And that's still my order to this day, bro. That is still my order. So shout outs to you on the off chance that you ever see this. Because you put me on, not gonna lie. And he gave me the sandwich for free, which was pretty fucking badass because he felt bad that we didn't have any of what I wanted. So he gave me a sandwich for free. I was like, bro, goat. My goat right there. So anyway, that's all that I've really got. Yeah, this one's pretty fun. I get my buddy, some of my buddies message me and tell me it's a really good song to listen to whenever you're in the gym, just because it's kind of lighthearted and upbeat. So let's see, is there anything else? I guess this song was really inspired by a song that I made. It was like loop 1 or something like that. Maybe I can find the loop and link it in here at the very end so I can play it for you. But it's pretty much just an arpeggiator. And what I was trying to do was recreate, when I tried to make it originally, I was trying to recreate the Can't Look in My Eyes unreleased version with Kanye West and Kid Cudi. So this is just pretty much inspired by a song that's inspired by an unreleased song by Cudi and Kanye. So yeah, that's it's a little fun tidbit fact about the production here. Yeah, so I think that's about it. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. It's been real. Thank you guys if you've tuned in this far and have watched any of these. genuinely do appreciate it. I mean, right now I'm still in my infancy. I'm still growing in all of this, so any support that I can get does help. Don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment, all that other stuff. It really does help out the algorithm. So with all that being said, it's been real. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Take care.